Hey folks, and I know what you're thinking, but of course right now I'm gonna have to say my line again. Hey everybody, it's June again. You know what that means? Besides my birthday. Of course that's already been passed, but thank you for wishing me a happy birthday. But today is Asian month. And I know what you're thinking. Why am I still dressing up as Doctor Who on Asian month? Well, tell you the truth, I still want to review science fiction stuff. And, it was kind of hard for me to find any Asian movies that are science fiction. Until I finally found some movies that I would like to review to you that are definitely science fiction. Sadly, they don't have any aliens involved, or time travel, but it does involve robots. You know, kind of like Terminator, RoboCop. Now, the movie I'm going to review for you today, this one was made in Korea back in 2003. Sorry about my hair, the wind always keeps messing up my hair. Will you stop messing up my hair, dang it? I made it the way I like it. Anyway, a Korean movie made back in 2003 is none other than Natural City. I know what you're thinking. Why Natural City? Well, it's set in the future in the year 2080. So, it's a Korean movie set in the future. And what's it all about? What's it all about, Alfie? Is it just for the moment we live? Sorry. Every time when I say what's it all about, it just makes me want to sing that song. Although I haven't seen the classic movie, I saw a few clips of the new one with Jude Law. But enough about Alfie. Let's get to Natural City, shall we? That's what you're here for, right? And it's about a guy who goes by the name of R. R? What kind of a name is R? Anyway, in this future, it turns out that there is some sort of a factory company who makes cyborgs, robots, androids, machines. And there's a group of police officers who's trying to shut them down and try to make them stop creating cyborgs. Stop creating androids. And of course, our main character, R, he's one of the police officers, well, more like sort of a elite force who specializes on tracking, hunting down, and destroying any android. Him with his partner, Norma. Him and his former partner, Norma, they did an outstanding job. But as it turns out, Norma told his chief that his friend R, he has a girlfriend. And they're saying that she is a robot too. Wait a second. This all familiar. Let me see. A guy who hunts down robots in the future falls in love with a woman who is a robot, and there is a bad robot. You don't think... Oh yeah, Blade Runner. One of the movies made by George C. Scott. And did you know this movie was based from a book by Philip J. Dick? Although the book was called Androids, Dreams, Electric Sheeps. Odd title. And of course, now I hear there's a sequel coming out. And I think this will be a good thing for me to review this instead of this, because there's a Blade Runner 2 coming out soon. And good old Harrison Ford is back. But let's get back to this story here. You see, R is playing Harrison Ford. And he falls in love with a woman who is an android. And her name is Rhea. R-I-A, Rhea. Now, the first time he saw her, she was a go-go dancer. Now, what is a go-go dancer, you're going to ask me? Well, there's a fine line difference between a stripper and a go-go dancer. In a strip club, you just sit down and watch women just dance sexually while you're giving them money, and they'll just take off their clothes while you're tossing money towards them. Go-go dancers, on the other hand, they look sexy, but they don't take off their clothes. They just dance around looking all hot and sexy, and just enjoy the show of them dancing sexually in their sexy wear. Just bikini or bra and panty or whatever they wear. I guess that's where go-go boots came from. Anyway, she was a dancer, and R decided to own her from the owner of the club. So now he falls in love with her. Rhea falls in love with R, and R falls in love with Rhea. And believe it or not, there is a young girl. At first she thinks that she's a human, but it turns out that, I don't know in the movie if they're saying that she's a robot too or not. Her name is Scion. What she is she's a poor girl who lives in the in the poor side of the city with all the poor people. And she's friends with R, the cop. And then they capture this odd-looking guy. His face looks completely wrinkled, and his fingers are getting kind of bloodied. And his name is Cray. Now, Cray, they figured out that he's a robot too. And as R tries to get him out of the precinct without getting him killed, turns out that his former partner, Norma, he stopped him. And as R trying to get in his way, Norma pushed him aside and shot Cray. And now he's dead. And R got so peed off at him, he just punched him in the face and said, "I'll kill you!" But of course, Norma had the troops hold him down and says, "Let him go." But he still goes on saying, "I'll kill you for this!" And as it turns out, that there is an evil robot who goes by the name of Cyper. Cyper is planning to go into that factory building and try to kill the original creators who created them. Him and his female robot companion, Amy. A-M-I, Amy. So now, R and Norma, they put aside their differences and do their job. They finally went to the factory. Amy, she sacrificed herself by having a bomb attached to her chest, and she run towards this helicopter, trying to shoot her down. And she grabbed onto the helicopter, and the bomb detonated on her chest, and boom, the helicopter blew up and crash landed. And Cyper, he kidnapped Seon and kept her in a glass container. And as R found her, so did Norma. And surprisingly, Cyper killed Norma. He beat him up really bad. While R, on the other hand, he had a grenade detonation with spikes on him, and he tossed it right to Cyper, and he caught it right in his hand, even though now it's in embedded into his hand. Now, one thing, the difference between Blade Runner and this movie, there's some kung fu involved. So, it's kind of interesting to see a kung fu fight between a cyborg and a human. And after a few fights, Norma stopped R and heard that the grenade is about ready to launch, and then boom, Cypher died. And as R looked at his former partner Norma, who died, he yelled out, "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." Maybe feeling bad for saying I'll kill you. And then R release Scion and tell her to go and promise him to protect Raya, the android girl the cyborg girl that he fell in love with. He tell her to go after her and protect her. Scion kept her promise and she ran. And as it turns out, the building was about ready to detonate. And R had enough from all this. So, R did one thing that I was kind of surprised that he did this. He stayed in the building and the building exploded. So pretty much, R died with everything in the building. And Seiya's the only survivor. And as she ran to Raya know that he died. She doesn't want to continue on her cybernetic life without R. She wants to die too, so what she did, she removed her IA chip out of her head and then just died. Of course, that's one thing these cops do when they go after and hunt down cyborgs. They always, after they kill them, they always remove their IA chips out of their skulls. Bear in mind, this movie is full of nudity in it. You see a lot of topless cyborg women in this, but that's all it has. So I don't recommend you kids to be watching it unless you're old enough. All in all, this is a good movie for a Korean movie. And it is very, very different than Blade Runner. And in case for those of you who are wondering, am I going to review Blade Runner one of these days? We'll see. After Asian month. Probably in July or something. But for now, I'm pretty much intrigued in this movie because it is really interesting. You can find it you can find it on Best Buy or look it up on YouTube or any other website. It gives you any movies from Asia. So, I say Natural City is a pretty, it's different and it's really pretty awesome and intense with the explosions. So I give it a thumbs up. And even though there's androids in it, there's no Arnold Schwarzenegger, Terminator kind of people around here. So that reminds me, whatever happened to Multi-Voicinator? Haven't seen him since my review of Terminator. Oh well. So for those of you who likes my review of Natural City, please leave a comment down below, hit like, subscribe. And what is my next review going to be? Well, my next review is a science fiction romantic comedy. And it's made in Japan. And if you guys want to know what it is, it's called Cyborg She. And it is really different. I'm going to check the movie out, do my review, and let you guys know about it. So, hasta la vista, baby.